And you're probably looking at me going, Jesus, that's 25 years ago, how come it hasn't been legalized yet? Well, I probably made the mistake 25 years ago of thinking that if you're logical about this, and you give logical reasons as to why cannabis should be legalized, well then people will listen and logic will win out. But unfortunately on this issue, even though logically it makes absolutely no sense to have cannabis illegal, still we have a majority of politicians in this country who want to argue the illogical argument. And you have to look at, why are they doing this? Why? Why would you follow a policy that enriches gangsters and at the same time criminalises hundreds of thousands of people in this country? You've got to ask yourself the question by intelligent people. It doesn't seem like it at times with people in Dáil Éireann. There are a lot of things, but they're actually smart enough, these people. Why would smart people leave so much money in the criminal market? Why would such smart elected people create a situation where people didn't know the strength of the product that they were using, didn't know the strain of the product that they were using, didn't know whether it was adulterated with another substance or not? Why would you stick with a policy like that if you were applying logic? I just scratch my head and I wonder why, because it doesn't make any sense. So my thinking is this: the reason why people in Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael won't go along with the legalisation of cannabis is because they've buried themselves in layers of lies for decades now. And to come out and say they were wrong, well, it's a difficult thing to do, to admit you're wrong. It's a good thing to do, to admit you're wrong when you are. But unfortunately, these people don't have the backbone to do that, because if they have any bit of common sense at all, they know that the law needs to be changed. Now, 25 years ago when I started doing this, I was talking about we need to legalise cannabis, and in theory, this is what would happen if you did it. We no longer have to do that. It isn't a theory anymore. It isn't a theory for Uruguay. It isn't a theory for many states in the United States of America. It isn't going to be a theory in Germany in the future. It isn't a theory in Malta.
That's RT, they're
it
behind
isn't
us.
a theory when it comes to social clubs in Spain. It isn't a theory to say the world won't fall apart. It isn't a theory to say you'll all end up as heroin addicts because of the gateway theory. It isn't a theory anymore. We have proven on this planet that if you regulate, it is safer and it is better for absolutely everyone, bar the gangsters. If it's better for everyone bar the gangsters, why the hell do Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael jump in alongside the gangsters? What the hell are they doing that for? I know they've sold off all our property, I know they sold off our wind, I know they sold off our gas, I know they sold off our oil, and they sold off everything else. So what are they waiting for now? Is it to sell off the rights to sell cannabis? Is it to sell off the licenses so that they can make money out of it when it is finally legal? Because I just cannot get my head around why it isn't legal already. Yeah. So what's the hope for the future? The hope for the future for me is, and I wish it wasn't this way, I wish we weren't always the puppy dog that follows, and I wish we were the big dog that leads, but unfortunately we don't. But where I see hope, and I see the good news, is what's happened in the United States of America. And when it does happen at a federal level there, and it will, we will follow suit. And when it becomes normal, I don't know what the modern day Friends is on television, but when the modern day Friends are sitting down having a spliff with their cup of coffee, in the same way as those evil silk stockings in the 1950s made everyone a little bit more interested in sex because it was on the TV screens. Just like those evil things that were beamed in from America in the 50s got into our living rooms. We will see a situation where in your average sitcom, from the United States of America, you'd be sitting down looking at your mother and your father, and there'd be someone having a spliff on the television, and that will lead to a change. What's happening in Germany and what's happened with the coalition and the agreement in Germany will mean that we will see change even faster here in the European Union and in Ireland. What's happening in Spain will make it more likely. Now, when I initially got elected to the European Parliament, I approached people and I spoke to them about the idea of putting something together on a group for the legalization of cannabis for recreational purposes. Well, I was as well to arrive into a room carrying a skunk. I would have got it much welcome. But now things have changed. We are within 6 to 8 weeks, there'll be a press release going out from a new group set up in the European Parliament looking to start a campaign to legalise cannabis for recreational use. 6 out of the 8 groups have put forward an MEP so far.
Excellent.
Only 2 groups have not as of yet. ID, you're not bloody welcome anyway, you're far-right extremists, so we won't be sorry if you ever join. And the EPP, which is Fine Gael's group. We actually have an MEP from the same group that Fianna Fáil is in. So, Billy Keller, are you listening? Lead, or follow. We know you won't be leading, so follow those MEPs. So, there is change coming. It feels like it's never going to happen. I've gone through various phases of thinking, yeah, it's definitely going to be legalised, and then a few years later thinking, Jesus, this is never going to happen. I thought it was going to be legalised when we seen the change in London back in the late 1990s and the experiment that they had. And then David Blunkett announcing in the UK that, well, I won't be arresting people for simple possession. We had something similar in Ireland, but it only lasted for a couple of months, and it just ended up with another situation where you had someone on the radio talking about reefer madness again, and it was all pushed backwards. But now I think it's different. Now I think finally common sense is coming through. And as I said earlier, it was just a theory what would happen if we legalised cannabis 25 years ago. It's not a theory anymore. It shows that it is a way better way to deal with it, less problems in society, and in many places it means less drink driving. I was reading a statistic yesterday from the States about how the amount of people who are involved in foster care has gone down. And the reason why is there isn't as many children to foster. And why? Because people aren't losing their children just because they want to have a smoke. I hear many people say to me, Asher, look at if you're caught with cannabis, what are you complaining about? You're probably not going to end up in prison. It's not going to be that serious. But when you end up with a criminal record for possession of cannabis, you see how serious it is. It means that if you have a row with your partner, potentially you can be bribed. It means that if you split up with your partner, you don't stand a chance in hell of keeping your children if you end up going to court to look for custody, because it'll be thrown at you that you have a criminal record for possession of drugs. If you want to get a job, the job I'm doing as a politician, you won't be able to get it unless you lie on your CV. Like, that's a fairly significant impact on people's lives just because they want to have a smoke. So when people say, look, you were let off with a small fine, and sure, it doesn't make that much difference to you, it does make a massive difference to people. Another area where it makes a massive difference, and it definitely makes a massive difference in Ireland, because if you can't get a place to rent in Dublin because of this useless government, you might want to go to another country. Well, the problem is, if you want to go to the States, you want to go to Australia, and you want to go to many countries around the world, you can't go there because you have, as some people say, oh, big deal, it's not that big of a deal, it's only a little bit of a criminal record. It's not. It has serious impacts on your life. I get emails on a regular basis from people who have been put in this situation. people who are suicidal because of this. I got an email lately of someone who had been smoking for depression. The neighbour told the guards that they thought they were smoking cannabis. Their partner did not know they were smoking cannabis. And now that person is separated, they're away from their children.
Yeah, Leonard, that's me.
They don't know whether they have the will to live. And the reason why they don't have the will to live is because of a stupid, really dangerous, harmful, scummy law. And I don't like the word scummy, but I tell you, let's reserve it for this law. Because that's what it is. It causes people massive problems, massive problems. Now, the upside of legalising it from a financial perspective is it's massive. We move from a situation where we waste taxpayers' money chasing people around for having a bit of a smoke, wasting taxpayers' money by making people less productive because they're not allowed to work in a job that would bring more money into this country. We move from a situation where that currently happens to a situation whereby it makes money for the country. It makes money for our education system. It puts money into our education system. It puts money into drug treatment for people who have problems with drugs. And some people do have a problem with cannabis. Some people have a problem with food. Some people have a problem with alcohol. And you know what? Under the current law, if you do have a problem with it, you can't do anything about it. Whereas if it was legalised, we could tax it and we could use that money to help people and to make their lives better and not make them hide away with this problem. So there are so many benefits out of legalising it. So I'm delighted. When I left All Éireann for a reason, and I left it because I thought I could achieve more in certain areas in the European Union, and I think I am in certain areas. But the main worry for me when I left was that no one would take up this issue again, that it wouldn't be important enough to anyone to take it up again. And I'm looking at this man here, Gino Kenny, and I just want to say, Gino, fair bloody well deuce to you, because it's a thing that, okay, politically, there are personal rewards out of it, because you know you're doing the right thing, but also there are political risks from it, and you will end up basically being put down as this type of politician or that politician because you're chasing that, well, that niche area that the majority of people in Ireland agree with, and which is kind of a bit strange. So I have to say, I'm just delighted when I heard that Gino was going to go down this road, and he's bringing in a bill this year, hopefully, in Dáil Éireann, and we can have this debate all over again. And I did an interview earlier, and they were asking me, what did I think the significance of this bill being brought before the Dáil was, and how successful was it? Well, successful, what's success? I think my bill was successful because 8 TDs in this country put their name to it and said they would support it. It was 8 more than before, and it was successful because everyone was talking about it. It was on every radio station, it was on TV stations, and there was a debate about it. And all those bullshit arguments as to why cannabis should be legalised were weeded out, pardon the pun, and they were hammered to within an inch of their life, and they were shown to be false arguments. So the benefit of Gino bringing this bill before the Dáil are manifold. Ideally, I'd like to see it voted through. Ideally, I'd like to see a situation where we would have legalised cannabis in this country. I don't think they'll vote for it. I don't think Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael will vote for it. But there is, unlike when I was in Dáil Éireann at that time, there is now a very, very, very significant opposition who can be tapped into, looking at their voter age profile, looking at the opinion polls and looking at the age groups who say they're going to vote for them. I'm not saying older populations don't support this, many of them do, but these are the ones to get at. So next time, when this happens, when this is debated and when it is discussed, you want to get on to Sinn Féin, You want to get on to the Social Democrats, no point getting on to people before profit because you're pushing at an open door, and fair dues to you.
TikTok.
Because other parties could have done this and they haven't done it yet. So in this bill, what has to happen is you have to put pressure on Sinn Féin to support this, because they are saying they are going to represent you running this country in the future. Likewise for the Social Democrats. Ye are the ones who are going to be voting for them. And if you're going to be voting for them, well then they've got to do what we want. So what I hope, and I'll finish on this, what I hope will happen and what I believe can happen is, not only will 8 TDs vote for this, you'll get every Sinn Féin TD to vote for it. You'll get people before profit to vote for it. You'll get the same people who voted for it that are still there when I was there. And you'll nearly have a majority. And you watch Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael have a good long hard think about it then. And you watch very soon after that, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil will come up with the idea that we should legalise cannabis, and then it will happen. I'll finish by this. Chucky or law, our day is coming.
Yes!
Happy 420! And I didn't get to celebrate. It's 4:22 in a minute, and that's 4:22.
Hey!
Thank you everyone for today. Thank you, Ming, and so sorry that we didn't get 4:20 in. I'm really sorry.
Back over to my stash. Hope nobody spiked me. Shout out to Cam Drinks. Hooking us up here today. Whip up! Yes, son! That was not paid product advertisement. Actually, a really nice drink, really refreshing. CBD, cola. Who's out there, guys? JJ, what's going on, JJ? You bouncing, GB? Yeah, not a bother. Catch you later, GB. But yes, JJ's out there. JJ, haven't had a J in a month. Got JJ Sonny Shiba. Not my JJ. What's happening, dude? If it's you. Who else is out there? Mr. Fudge. Fudge, where are you, man? Thought you'd be up there, dude. Hopefully you're blazing one there, wherever you are, anyway. Says pods for 420. Tell Ming to light up. It's nearly 420. Yeah, he didn't light up at 420. We'll go over there now. We'll see. But I don't think they're going to have a talk. The stoner down here. Oh, nice. This is not paid product placement. It's just a really good product that came from R420 Supplies. Check them out. R420.ie. Stoner Dan. Oh, there's Mr. R428 behind us. Mr. R420, come say hi.
Hi guys.
Hey. What else have we got out there? Dylan says what's going up, top down, but thought the wind would make joints impossible. Pre-rolls, Dylan, bye. Pre-rolls, that's what it's all about. But it's not too bad on there. I managed to roll one there. You just turn your back to the wind and it's all good. Plenty of buddies down here loan you sacks as well. You know, you can stack some sacks around you. Nice old crowd down here though. I'll give you a flash of the crowd again. Smoke is flying around the place. I don't know if you can see, like there's clouds on the floor. Yes, yes, shout out to the crown. Happy 420 lads. So guys, I am not too sure if there's going to be any more talks down there at the moment, but we'll find out there now shortly. Something, boys. That's a big whiff there. Oh, and this was the lady who had a big, huge fatty the other day in the march. Taking turns, yeah.
Jumping in with Mark and Ashton and all. With Ashton and all.
Oh, we going in for a big photo? Yeah, yeah. Moving over. Oh no, the banner won't stay up, Ash. The Irish 420 Army, that's right. Better go over and make sure this thing doesn't go walkies. Ash! Ash! Ash didn't know that we were captioning or dancing. So guys, hopefully you're all enjoying 420 wherever you are. It's 4:24 as well now, so you know 4:20 is 4. No, you're good. Well used to this now, stone around, well, like yourself, like. You know your way around the ring, and we can manage one-handed affairs. Well, technical wizard, right? Yeah. That's it. I wish. Yes, everybody's up there consuming some cannabis. We had RTE up here as well. Where we go, guys. Apologies if there's a lot of fucking wind there. It's not too bad over here. But we had RTE come up there earlier. RTE interviewed myself and Charlene from the major group for cannabis reform. So yeah, that should be on RT later on this evening as well. So make sure to check that out. I think the RT stuck around there. They might have captured some of Ming's speech there as well. So that's good to hear as well. So hopefully we'll see that up in RT. It'd be great to kind of get that message out there. And maybe they might pick up some footage there from Wednesday as well. I told them about the Wednesday event. She was asking us the march, you know, if there was a march today. Told them we weren't going to bother the Gardaí, you know, we were just going to be a nice peaceful civil disobedience protest. Sat down here, we don't want to bother the Gardaí again, the second time in the 1 week. So, you know, because we're considerate stoners, you know what I mean? Don't want to be bothering people like that. So is that what will the RT coverage look like? Biased, I suppose. Well, to be fair, it's quite chilly up here, and yeah, I might have been a bit shivery in front of the bloody camera. It was very windy as well, so I don't know what the audio is going to be like. Hopefully the audio is going to be usable, but yeah, we'll see. Let's see how it goes. Surely, like RT, fucking we're in Ireland, like they surely have a microphone that can deal with the wind, like. And get this lighting again. Hope the fake RT put her out. What? My bad. You have two hands for this, as it's a little bit windy up there, guys. So, if there's more speeches going on, I'll probably get back a live stream there again in a couple of minutes. But for now, I think we're just going to be getting some photos and stuff like that, just kind of, again, holding the space there. But yeah, been a great day out. It's been a good crack. We'll be back again, as I said, if there is more speeches going. Catch you there, boys.